much, Martina, for such a nice intro. It's a pleasure to be here with you, with all of the guests also, and speak about the marketing trends 2021. I mean, it's a topic we can spend, I think, whole days of speaking about the marketing trends, but let me give you today, I would say, roughly 20-25 minutes to get a small dive into the hottest topics, as you mentioned, Martina, and then I'm very willing to also answer some questions or get into a discussion. Thanks again for having me, and now I would like to share my presentation, and we can then directly start into it. I would be happy if someone let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, perfect. So what are we going to talk about today? Most of the session we will speak really about the trends 2021. I will get you some topics or some infos about it, then also get a short insight about the current tool landscape, speak about the model, marketing as a service, and then also the Q&A session. What I'm really sad about is that I haven't been in Bratislava since really now almost 1 year. At the moment, I'm in Zurich, Switzerland. ERNI and eMarket are companies that are have been founded in Switzerland. We are a combination of a software engineering company and also a digital marketing and design company. I've been working for 5 years now at ERNI. What I really love about this circle is this international background. I personally have been born in Germany. My parents are from Croatia and Bosnia. I live now in Switzerland. I think I've been in Bratislava more than 50 times, and I cannot wait to go to Croatia for my summer holidays again this year. So I hope this will all go well this year. But I really enjoy working in international fields, and I think marketing is also a very international field where we can learn from other countries, and also think US, Europe, Asia. Let me deep dive into these topics now together with you. I think this is a picture. You see it was placed in the New Yorker end of last year, which all of you know, or all of you have also a little bit experienced, like working remotely. And when we speak about marketing trends 2021, I mean, at the moment where we are sitting here right now in front of the computers watching and listening to this webinar, I mean, this is one of the marketing trends 2021 at the moment, which is right now here and happening, which is right now happening. I think you all have seen the big increase of webinars, and thanks for attending today for this topic. But as I said, right now we are in the middle of one of those trends, like webinars. We cannot go to fairs anymore or any exhibitions, at least at the moment or for the last 12 months. And what you see in the picture is what most of our customers or our employees also have in reality. Like, you just see a little bit of the face and maybe also the hand of the customer, of your employee. Below the table there is a mobile phone, there is a cat in the room. So we are really now in a digital world, in a digital room. You know, COVID has been the biggest digital transformation officer, as we said also sometimes. So this is quite the new reality. And now, of course, the question is that we want to go, or I would like to show you sometimes, how can we, in this digital world, in this field where the customer is not personally reachable, or we have to build up a relationship through the screen, how can we reach them? How can we get in touch? And this is what we would like to, or I would like to discuss with you today. Some facts for the beginning. I mean, social media, who of us does not have an account on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? I think at least on one of these platforms we are active. Our customers, our potential customers are as well. And social media every year since 2015, every year has been growing to 12.5%. This is a trend that was at least last year also even speeding up. But this is something that we still can see also when you see the numbers. I will show a slide afterwards also in regards to the growth of these companies is quite an impressive numbers. Also, when you go to the right side, also this blue box, what I've shown, 100 minutes per day, people are watching worldwide online videos. When I see, for example, my kids or even my neighbors, or at least people around there in the trains, when you see them, all of them are somehow hanging on these screens, on the tablets, even on the TV, when you see the YouTube app there. So people are watching more and more online videos. This is a clear fact, 100 minutes, I mean, almost 2 hours. Quite a growth when we look back some years, this number was not that high. Also big upcoming trend. What we also see that marketing trends, or also when we speak about brands, when we speak about marketing 2021, brands have to digitize themselves. So we need to be available in the digital world also. And here we can see a trend that brands that offer purpose, that they grow faster than other companies. So you can see quite a lot of companies saying like, we invest in sustainability, we invest in diversification, the environment is quite important for us, so we build our products with resources that are, let's say, that are sustainable, or all of these topics that we see purpose as coming up as a big trend, that those companies are growing faster in the world. And last but not least, also in this, before I go into the several topics, data visualization. Some of you, I think, also are working closely or even work in marketing. So how can I visualize all of this mass data that I'm gathering? So marketing becomes more and more technical. It's not anymore about the creativity part only, but it's the combination of the data and the creativity. And many marketing departments are collecting the data, but what can I do with the data and how can I visualize them? Give you one example here, how this could look like. So data visualization, all of the data that we collect, to bring them into one source. So how many people are visiting my website? How long do they stay? How many likes did I have on Facebook? How many new connections did I get, or followers did I get on LinkedIn? So bringing this information together in a meaningful way, also in regards to showing this internally in companies to the management, to show that the data-driven marketing, a big trend in 2021 also that will continue, that we can collect this data, that we can build APIs, for example, to get this together and get rid of all of these Excel files, for example, where we connect the number of followers, number of website visitors. So get all of this information together into one big overview. I also say like everything connected in one screen or one slide. This is very important when it comes to marketing, the data visualization, make use of this data in 2021. Going to the next point, you see here, please don't get panic when you see this screen here or this graphic here. It's the technology landscape. So at the moment, we have more than 8,000 marketing tools out there. And to be honest, it's very difficult to keep the overview, what could help or what could support my company to make the next step into marketing. So really, really important to say, like, get an overview, get some support maybe when it comes to this, who can help you in this field, like that you don't need to waste the time going through all of these tools and to support you. 8,000, when I see in 2014, we had roughly 900 about those tools. So the landscape is quite getting chaotic. Everyone is trying to bring in some new tools or some new software. And now the big question in 2021 and also ongoing is, how can I make use of these tools? How can they help me with my business? And what's the right tool also for my business? I can tell you also in the past years, the IT department was deciding about what's the right tool for the business. This has dramatically changed when I see how we speak to a lot of customers. Now this shift is happening that the business is telling what are the right tools and then the IT department is executing. When I look back 10 years, every IT department was saying what are the right tools for the companies and then giving it to the business. This has radically shifted that now the business is making the pace and then the IT department is executing this choice. I mentioned at the beginning the big players. Just to get a feeling of what's going on in this online world. Facebook, you all know Facebook, who is owning, by the way, also Instagram, they just released the numbers, 26 billion in the first quarter of this year, like in 3 months, $200,000 revenue per minute. $200 revenue per minute for the Facebook group. When you go further and say Google, even bigger, $426,000 revenue per minute. And most of this comes from the ads, like the Google ads that you are seeing, that when you are searching for some companies, when you are clicking on these things, these companies are making money then, of course, they deliver the targeted audience to you. So I can say, just play out my ad for these keywords and then they do it accordingly. And YouTube, which some of you might also know is belonging to Google, had alone in the first 3 months a revenue of $6 billion. So a big trend in marketing 2021. Movies, videos played out on YouTube to the target group. You all know these ads. When you start, for example, a video, you are watching a video about your garden, which you want to make nicer, and then you get at the right moment in the right time, for example, an ad of Obi or of an ad of another garden company that says, like, here in my store you can buy the right thing, and then it's automatically played out in this field. So $6 billion only in 3 months for these big players. Some of you might have a new product in your company, in your service, and when I check, or I've done some research, of course, also before I started here this webinar, and people have been asked, like, what is the most preferred form, how you would like to learn about a new product or service? You see 68% prefer of customers a short video. So to maybe tell it in different words, the time of big PDFs that are 20 pages long that people scroll through is a little bit over. When you receive your new iPhone, you don't get some paper with it, how it works. It's just you start your phone and everything is like ready for you, because you know with your intuition how to do it. You will find some information there. But when you start a new product, 68% of the people say, like, hey, just do a video. This is the way I can learn most about your product or your service. Also a big trend, as I mentioned before, in online marketing. Social commerce. Some of you have also seen this already, like, hey, I would really like to buy this nice jewelry or these nice shoes or this nice watch, whatever. So more and more companies, an example here, Instagram, you see the ad, you like the product. So with just one click, you come to the page where you can buy it. So this is also a big trend. Big trend also influencer marketing, for example. When you see, I give you an example, I think the account of the football player Cristiano Ronaldo must have, I would say, about 150 million followers. Just imagine if he posts something there wearing some Nike shoes with this price tag on, how many sales he directly activates with just one post. So Also a big trend, social commerce, shoppable post. If you have a product in your company that is B2C, for example, think about it. It's a nice way to bring this to the market and to gain more sales, of course, yeah, to get more revenue. Another trend, I have been really quite critical about the AR and the VR topic in the recent years, but compared to the numbers, you see this is an ongoing trend in marketing. And I personally have to say, well, I think some weeks ago, I was on the IKEA homepage and I was looking for some furniture also. And then the app asked me to make a photo of my living room. And you can see it also here on the right side. I was able to place the article in my living room to get a feeling how it looks like. And not only that it was I would say that I could see how the product looks in my flat or in the apartment. It was for me also a wow effect to see like, hey, this is really an innovative company that offers me with my mobile phone that I can see how this chair looks in my flat. So this is a big trend. Also here, you can see it also, some of you might have seen it at Amazon, for example. So the big players are already experimenting in this field quite aggressively also to deliver value. Because as I said, also coming back to the pandemic, you were just not able to visit those products or to see the products in the shop. So that's also a thing why these products raised so fast within the last year. I really like it now, although I was quite skeptical, but now from time to time, this app offers me this way and say like, hey, just take a look how it looks in your flat. And I've also seen it with some other apps so far, but this was quite a good impression that I got. Coming back to Trends 2021, this is a trend that is ongoing. You know, there are some things that have been raised in the past years, but also nevertheless, I think in Switzerland, I've read the statistics that only 20% of the companies are using content management. And why is content management or content marketing, as you can also say, like so important? It has several effects that we can say, like you can use, for example, ways that you can educate the visitor of your website or your service. You can create some differentiation, but what is really also important that you get an organic improvement of your Google results. So when you have content on your website, the content stays on your website. It's not just that you disappear it or that you delete it after some time. It stays there and it's automatically then also crawled by Google, yeah. And if you do really a good job, yeah, and if you work with several partners also, they write your content in a way that your keywords are found or crawled by users or Google in the end, and then in the next stage by users, and you are found organically, so you don't have to pay for ads to be found on Google, which is called search engine advertising. This is an organic way, search engine optimizing. So bring articles, bring content to your website. You will be found when it's done in a very good way. It will help you to be found on Google, you know, and it's very important to be found on Google when you have services that are quite connected in a digital way. I don't know how it's about you, but I really almost never visit the second page on Google. You know, there is this bar where you can see page 1 to 20, whatever. But I would say 99% of the user in the digital world, they don't see more than the first page on Google. This is where you need to be when it comes to marketing 2021. Automation. This is something I would say we can speak about if the organization is a bit more matured, if you have a kind of a marketing team that is placed in a bigger team also. You can automate in 2021 a lot of these things that you can see here. You can, for example, automate whole email sequences. So, for example, somebody signs up for your newsletter, you can the next 6 months already automate that after 2 weeks he gets this message. When he's interested and opens this kind of email message, you get another message. So all of these things can be automated so that your teams or yourself have less individual work, can focus maybe on more meaningful things like delivering value for the customer in a different way, and not each time create the story from the scratch. So many things are possible in automation. For example, also digital sales. I would say a lot of sales team in those times when they start working digital, they work in this kind of process. So this is the old way how you do it. So you go and check for CRM contacts, you somehow try to find a lead, you verify this lead on LinkedIn, you see if this is still valid, then you found out maybe this is maybe an old lead, then you go back, you found a new lead, then you start calling this person, you don't reach this person, you send a guessing email because you don't have the right address, and then you go to the next account. And this kind of process for one prospect costs you 10 to 15 minutes. Imagine you do this with 100 prospects, you lose a lot of time. This process can also be automated. You can see here that the process, just to bring this in a nutshell, all of these activities, when you get a lead, for example, from a webinar, from a LinkedIn campaign, you can automate this to bring this automatically into your CRM. Yeah, you can check then if this prospect has the authority or a budget. If yes, you can set up a call and then automate this process through bringing those leads that you generate automatically to your CRM, getting a signal to your sales to check this person or to call this person, and then set up a strategy call. If this person might not be the right one, you can filter it out and remove it. But all of these processes in those days can be automated. It takes a little bit more time at the beginning, but then you can be sure that you don't run after the process I've shown you before, but that you run through a digital sales process. LinkedIn is one example of this. We also use with several customers this LinkedIn automation, where you can automatically filter your target group and then send, for example, automatically messages to those people. You can ask them to drink a virtual coffee, for example, to get a networking together with them. The possibilities there are quite open. I always say that LinkedIn is the biggest CRM in the world, and you don't have problems with GDPR on LinkedIn that you might have when you work with the contacts, for example, with your own data or with your CRM tool. When you sign in on LinkedIn, you automatically accepted the data policy, and all of the other users did as well. So they agreed that you can contact them. So make use of the biggest CRM in the world. The numbers, how LinkedIn is also growing, is quite impressive. I know that also when it comes to Germany, there is this Xing platform also compared globally, and for other markets, it's quite small. And I think also that LinkedIn, because it's connected to Microsoft, some of you also might know, will have more and different features also in the future. So that would be it for the marketing trends. Here is what we do at ERNI or eMarket. We have a global reach also. Just to give you an overview, which are the countries where we are active in, where we are delivering marketing as a service. Especially in Slovakia, our team has just moved to, I have heard, the greenest building in Slovakia. Unfortunately, I was not able to go there, with a very nice terrace. So as soon as it's possible, I will also be there once again, and working closely with Germany, Switzerland, of course. We are on this market, delivering these kind of services. I mean, all of the things you have mentioned or you have seen so far, this is where we really are into, where we can deliver value from the idea, at the beginning, from the creation of the idea to the end, to the delivery, to the digital sales so far, or to the until the customer buys your product or you get a meeting if it's a complex product. This is where we support through data and emotion. Three things before I come to an end that I would like you also to think about, and that I have that I would like to give you on the hand. 93% of all online interactions start with a search engine. So if people, or if you, I mean, everybody knows this also from the person here in this call, if you start looking for something, if you start looking for a service, if you start looking for a product, the biggest part, 93% of all these interactions start with the search engine. So just take some time, maybe today or next week, take a look how your service or your company is doing when you search for a specific service for it. And then you will see who are your competitors, how are they doing, which are other companies that you might not have known when you search for your service. It's quite interesting to get into this field to improve your results. It's not a short-term game. Like if you really want to be visible for organic search results, it's a game which needs some time. I always say it's kind of a marathon. When you start running, you should be sure that you also have the air and the condition to finalize this run also. Another fact, personalized emails. I mean, we get a bunch of emails every day. I think this number increased, at least in my inbox. When I see this, I got a really, really high number of emails. And if these emails are, for example, personalized, if you find in your names, like Dear Mr. Kohler, for example, and you find the company in there, you see that somebody has made up a thought out of this, you get a higher delivery rate and also reply rate, which is much more higher if you only get emails that are non-personalized. Dear sir or madam, for example, starting with. So really make sure if your marketing or if your pre-sales is sending emails, that you personalize these emails. There are very nice tools also out there that can help you with this, that you get the right customer experience. This is also a keyword I would like to mention. Never been more important than today. Deliver on the online channels deliver in the online channels a good customer experience. If your experience, for example, on your website or with your product is not good, the customer will leave. There are alternatives out there and might be never coming back to you because he didn't found the information, or she didn't like the information she was looking for, or just your website was loading too slow. You don't have a mobile responsive page or whatever. And this is where I would like to have guiding you through the last point. Half of all online purchases are now completed in using mobile devices. Last time, for example, you ordered a pizza or you ordered something at Amazon or whatever, you ordered a taxi or whatever. This number is quite growing. And I think when it comes to tools of our daily life, this number is also much higher. Of course, if you have a complex product where you need to do a lot of other information, but I know there are also cases people have been ordering kitchens on IKEA with the mobile phone. So this is where the world is turning also into 2021. And for sure, more kitchens might be ordered in 2022 with the mobile phones. With that said, I'm at the end of my part speaking about marketing trends 2021, and I would really be happy to answer some questions right now.
Thank you very much, Pavo. It was very nurturing.
Thanks, Martina.
So dear participants, don't hesitate to ask directly the session.
Pavo, I think you're muted.
Now, yeah, a lot of things you have seen also coming from the US. Like US is really one of the markets where we in Europe, we adapt a lot of things from the US. So we take a lot of the trends. When you see Silicon Valley companies, these FANG companies like Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, they are big players in this field. And I think in Europe, we are still have potential to go there. I would say we are 3 to 5 years behind it for some parts of this, but that's a good chance for some companies to be innovative and to jump onto this field to be a leader in kind of the marketing trends in 2021. So it's not bad that we are behind in Europe. It's a big chance for some companies that we can jump on this train and become one of the top players there. Yeah.
So you use inspiration from America to also consult your customers here in Europe, or what are the main maybe problems or obstacles here in Europe when you like see the difference between the companies in America and in Europe? Like, what are the biggest obstacles that they see in these kind of topics when they want to like improve their marketing and so on? You consult also your customers in these kind of topics, right?
Yes, yes, of course. This is a big important thing to understand what is the goal of the customer. Yeah, it's always important at the beginning of the process to understand the goal, to understand the target group. Yeah. When it comes to Europe, we see a lot of field when we speak about data protection, privacy protection. This is a big field, like GDPR has been discussed a lot in Europe. So we support customers in getting rid of the fear of making something wrong. There are a lot of ways to make a good personalized customer experience also in the frame of GDPR. What is also important in where the people in the States are quite good, but also you find good examples in Europe, to tell a story about the product, yeah, to tell a story about your service. Sometimes we are so much hidden into our cage where we only see our internal processes, our internal fields, that sometimes it's really good to get an external view, to take the customer glasses on and see the products from the customer perspective. Before Corona, I used also in our meetings to keep one chair free. And I learned this, I read this somewhere from Jeff Bezos, also from Amazon. Just keep one chair free in the meeting room, and this is the customer. And so discuss these things from a customer perspective. You will have different discussions within your teams or within your management when you leave one chair free, the customer perspective.
That's a very nice example. I'm going to share it among also my colleagues so that
Sure.
we should keep it in mind. Thank you. Thank you on this. I assume we also have another question. Oh, what do you think is the future of newsletters, or should they be personal, or is it there no point at all?
I have very often discussions about this, and some people say that email is dead. Yeah, email is dead, and email is something that is totally from the last century, and I totally disagree with this. Everybody has this small gadget in his pocket or her pocket, and I don't know how often you check your emails, but people do a lot, maybe a lot more than it's really healthy at the end of the day. So, and emails is, especially also in the pandemic, a very good way to get in touch with potential customers. Yeah. What is really important when it comes to emails? Spend time and think about the subject line where you would like to send. Yeah. Many people spend a lot of time on the content in the email, but the first thing you see as a customer is the subject line. So if you can make it, or if you're able to, otherwise we also can consult on this. Personalize the subject line. So if you write to Martina an email, just Martina, what about blah, 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 huh? This could be something. You will get automatically a much better conversion in opening, but people will also read the content more if it's personalized. So I would say that within the pandemic, newsletters and emails have become more important than it was before. And personalize the message whenever possible. There are also automation tools that can help you to personalize these messages, that you don't have to personalize it for each of the 200 emails you are going to send.
Thank you on this. Yeah, that's a very nice view on the topic. I would give the stage to the participants if they have maybe something on Pavo. Feel free to ask.
Mm-hmm. What I can also give maybe to the participants, a small tip. There are some free Google tools you can use. For example, the Google mobile website check, where you can enter your website and then you get a rating of how fast your website is performing and how good it is when it comes to ranking, like how good your content is indexed. So take a look. Just plug in there your URL and into the Google mobile website check, and you can see some nice surprises there where maybe your website might not be performing quite well, but there are also very good examples where everything is set up correctly. But this is something we get a lot of surprises also when we start the first consultation with the customer. Yeah.
We have many marketing managers from our member companies here and in the session. Maybe what are your tips, or what would you like recommend them to focus their budget and their effort the most?
Yeah. We see a lot of companies that have reduced their budgets in Corona. Yeah. Like when you speak to CFOs, the first thing they cut, mostly, not all of them, they cut marketing budgets. Huh? That's a big pain for marketing managers. So the expectation is to get the same results with half of the money. To I'm a little bit exaggerating, but this is a thing that that is fact, and I don't know how it is in the current situation. But once a budget is gone, it's very difficult to get it back. So this is quite difficult discussions. But with the digital tools you have in those days, also with the automations, also with outsourcing teams that you maybe not have the power internally to build up, to give it to specific partners that have the know-how. We do, for example, for many companies in Slovakia, we give them graphic design, or they give graphic design task for us, or we build whole campaigns for them, or deliver content for them. So in case of building up this whole expertise internally, just get a team that has the power, and maybe you only need this team for a specific amount of time, and give it externally. You don't need to internalize everything specific. Also, when it comes to that, the budgets are getting smaller. Yeah. And also one point is like the stakeholder management to the CEO. Like when you are a marketing manager, you always need to prove that your results, or that the money you spend, or that the ads you spend are spent in a good way or delivering return on investment. At the beginning, I've shown a little bit this data visualization slide, so where you can get all of these results together. This is a quite helpful way to get all information in a package where it can be digested by the management. When I talk to CEOs, a lot of these things, they don't want to talk about the cost per impression. This is discussion what you have with the marketing manager, but they want to see like, what did I spend and what did I get back on it?
Typical discussion. We know.
Yes.
Great. So I assume we can share your presentation among the participants.
Sure.
And,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
We will
Yes.
share also your contacts with it.
Mhm.
So if our members will have another question or something on you, then they can
Just get in touch. Yeah.
exactly, they can contact you directly,
Yeah.
and that would be maybe the best procedure. So you can then talk bilaterally.
Sure.
So amazing. I'm not gonna like take the time of the presentation. If anyone have any question, then just keep in touch. We all have our contacts, and yeah, thank you very much, Pavo, for your presentation. It was excellent, and also like really nice insights also for us here at the chamber. And I wish you a pleasant rest of the day and
Thank
hope
you.
to keep in touch and see each other soon, maybe by the business breakfast soon.
Yes. 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 It
Yeah?
would be a pleasure. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
ERNI, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much and see you soon, hopefully.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.